Great! You finally decided to join me. I've been waiting a million years for you. Well, no, not really, but it's been a while. Did you get my point, though? I used a hyperbole to get my idea across. Now that's a good example of figurative language. Authors commonly use figurative language to get a response out of you. The author wants to create a picture in your mind to help you understand what it is you're reading. Creating figurative language, well, it's as easy as pie. There, I've done it again. Right about now, you may be thinking, but I'm not a baker. But that's okay. We all have to start somewhere, be it a baker or a writer. Some people think writing is like shoveling snow in a snowstorm, or as interesting as watching paint dry. But it's really very easy, and a lot of fun sometimes too. And by the way, did you catch that one? Okay, let's try another one. Suppose I wanted to describe a very cold, windy, dreary day in the wintertime. Pleasant, huh? But seriously, I could simply use descriptive adjectives like blustery, bitter cold, dreary. Now suppose I added some examples of figurative language like metaphors, similes, analogies, or even personification. Well then, it might sound like this. As I turned the corner, the frozen wind began to stalk me, like an animal eyeing its prey. I hurriedly turned up the collar of my aged wool coat, as if it would provide some motherly warmth for my bone-chilled frame. Cool, huh? And by the way, that's a pun. So let's just take a moment to mention a few of the devices that writers use to create these unusual concepts and make a picture in your head. There are similes and metaphors which create comparisons between two typically unlike things. For example, the brother and sister fight like cats and dogs. Well, typically, cats and dogs don't always get along, which means that these two siblings probably don't either. So it's a good simile to describe them, and you can imagine what that looks like. There's a famous metaphor from Shakespeare, all the world's a stage. Well, it's really not, although sometimes it feels like you're under a spotlight for everyone to see, right? Well, that's the point. The metaphor reminds you of the fact that sometimes everyone is aware of what you're doing. In the previous example about the wind, did you recognize the use of personification? I bet you did. Think back on the part where I attributed the ability of stalking to the wind. That's giving an inanimate object, or abstraction, a living quality. There are many more uses of figurative language that I could discuss with you, but you'd probably shut down like a cell phone with a dead battery. So thanks for spending time with me to learn a little bit more about figurative language. I had more fun than a barrel of monkeys. I was like a kid in a candy store. This is the most fun I've had in centuries. Need I say more?